What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. Today I'm going to feature 3 recent returns that I just got back in the mail, but more importantly, to celebrate Memorial Day weekend, I'm going to celebrate one of those returns from Vietnam veteran. So this individual is a well-known baseball player from the 1970s, but a lot of you probably did not realize before this man had success as a Major League Baseball player, he actually was in the United States Army and served in Vietnam. So we'll get to him at the end of this video, but first we're going to touch on a couple other players from the 1970s, early 80s, and the first return is from former catcher Tim Blackwell on 1, 2, 3, and 4. And as you can see from the mustache, Blackwell has one of the best mustaches in the history of baseball. Very retro-esque mustache he's got going on there, is him as a coach there. So let me tell you about Tim Blackwell and his career in baseball. So Tim Blackwell, switch-hitting catcher, grew up in California and was drafted out of Crawford High School in the 13th round by the Boston Red Sox in the 1970 MLB draft. At just 17 years old, Blackwell made his first professional appearance in 1970, appearing in 28 games for the low A affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. Blackwell would work his way up through the minor league system through the 1974 season, where he would be in AAA for the Red Sox, and he would get his call up to the major leagues on July 3rd, 1974. In his 4 at-bats, he actually got 2 hits that game versus the Baltimore Orioles, and he would remain on the Red Sox roster as their catcher, posting a .246 batting average his first season in the major leagues. The following year, in 1975, Blackwell would remain as the backup catcher, appearing in 59 games for the Red Sox that season. Going into the 1976 season, the Phillies decided to purchase Blackwell from the Boston Red Sox for cash considerations. He would spend 1.5 seasons with the Phillies until the following year in 1977, the Phillies would trade him to the Montreal Expos. He would finish out the year with the Expos in 1977, appearing in 16 games for them, but by the 1978 season, the Expos would release him, and he would then sign on with the Chicago Cubs in that offseason. He would spend the entire 1978 season with the Cubs organization. He would split time between their AAA affiliate and the Major League club, appearing in 49 games for the Cubs as their backup catcher. Tim would remain the backup catcher for the Cubs from the 1979 to 81 season, and then he would be let go, granted free agency after the 81 season, and then he would re-sign with those very Montreal Expos, and for the 1982 season, he would spend the 82 season as the backup catcher for the Expos. However, in 83, he would return with the Expos, and they would release him on May 31st, 1983. Tim would stay unemployed just for a couple weeks, and he would then sign on June 20th, 1983 with the Angels. He would finish out the year with the Angels in their AAA affiliate, appearing in 59 games for the Angels and not appearing in a game for the Angels that season. In his 10-year Major League Baseball career, Blackwell played in 426 games, accumulating 230 hits, 38 hits, and 1,044 at-bats. He posted a .228 career batting average along with 6 home runs and 80 RBIs. He ended his career with a .981 fielding percentage. While he was a light-hitting catcher, Blackwell had a strong throwing arm and a great quick release, and was a very good pitch caller. Following his playing career, Blackwell became a catching instructor and coach with the Toronto Blue Jays organization, and then became a minor league manager for the Orioles, Rockies, Brewers, Giants, and New York Mets organizations. He managed the 1989 Pittsfield Mets of the New York Penn League to the playoffs and guarded the Manager of the Year award that year. He then led the Columbia Mets to the South Atlantic League Championship in 1991. In 1993 and 94, he managed the new St. Paul Saints of the Independent League. the team that won the league's first championship in 1993. He stuck around for a while and last managed with the Winston-Salem Warthogs, the Class A Carolina League, through 2008. So I think Tim might be actually retired at this point in his life. You never know. He might still be one of those guys that still hangs around the game and still works with the younger players, in the Royal ranks. I don't know, but I'm assuming that he is at the retirement age, so he's enjoying retirement and moved on from the game of baseball that he spent many, many decades either playing or coaching. So we'll move on to the next return. All right, so this next one is a return from California on 1, 2, and 3. And I want to say that I did include a fourth card, but Mr. Breining did decide to keep that card, which is fine. That's why I include a couple extras in case they do have a card or two that they don't have. I honestly cannot remember what card it was, so it was probably a double either that or that. I don't remember. So let me tell you about Fred Breining and his career in baseball. So Fred Breining grew up in San Francisco, California. He later went on to play at the College of San Mateo in San Mateo, California, where he was selected in the third round of the 1974 draft by the Pittsburgh Pirates. While Breining was with the Pirates organization from 1974, at just 18 years old, he worked his way through the Pirate system, reaching AAA by his age 22 season in 1978. He would start the 1979 season with the Pirates, minor league affiliate, but on June 28, 1979, he was traded by the Pirates with Al Holland and Eddie Whitson to the San Francisco Giants for third base great Bill Madlock, Lenny Randle, and Dave Roberts. Well, once he joined the Giants organization, he finished the year out posting a 9-6 record split between the Giants and the Pirates and a 2.03 ERA. In 1980, he would be promoted to the Giants AAA affiliate, where he would appear in 54 games, posting a 6-3 record. And the Giants actually called him up on a September call-up on September 4th, 1980, at the age of 24 years old. He faced the Montreal Expos in one inning of work. He gave up one hit. He struck out one batter in his major league debut. He would finish out the year with the Giants, appearing in 5 games total, posting a 5.40 ERA and a 0-0 record. The next year, in 1981, he would make the Giants out of spring training and would appear in 45 games for the Giants, posting a 5-2 record with a 2.55 ERA. The next year, in 1982, would be even better. He would post an 11-win, 6-loss record in 54 games. And in 1983, the Giants decided to move him to a full-time starter role. Well, with the Giants, he started 32 games that year with them in 1983. Well, after the 1983 season, he was then packaged in a deal that sent him to the Montreal Expos. At that point, Fred was on top of the world, and then he was injured. So his injury did not allow him to ever come back from his arm injury. It was after fielding a routine grounder that he threw to first, and then he felt soreness in his arm. He appeared in just 4 games for the Montreal Expos in that 84 season, and after that, he never appeared in the major leagues again. He tried to come back with the Expos in the Tigers organization and was somewhat successful, but at the age of 30, in 1986, the Tigers didn't have a place for him, and after the 1986 season in their minor league system, the Tigers let him go. After his playing career, Breining moved back to the San Francisco area, and he would actually work with a former teammate of his, Dusty Baker, at a baseball academy in the Sacramento area, along with Lloyd Mosby. So I'm not sure if Breining's still working in baseball instruction in the San Francisco or Sacramento area, but he very well may still be an instructor. I don't really know. So I want to thank Fred for signing my cards, and we'll move on to the last one that I kind of hinted on already, the veteran of the group. So during my research, I found that there were only 10 people that actually served in the Vietnam era that played in Major League Baseball. This is one of those people that actually served in the military before he found success in Major League Baseball. I am talking about former Baltimore Oriole Rookie of the Year, Al Bumbry, on 4 of 4 cards. And Al Bumbry, like I said, is a retired military veteran as well as a retired Major League Baseball player. So let me start with telling you about Bumbry's career in the military and also his career in baseball. I was born in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and graduated from Ralph Bunche High School in King George, Virginia. He attended Virginia State College on a basketball scholarship, which he played for 4 years. While Bumbry was at Virginia State, the school restarted its baseball program, and Bumbry played in its final year and batted .578, earning the team's most outstanding player. While at Virginia State, Bumbry was in the ROTC, which helped pay for his college, which obligated him to 2 years of United States military service. After signing with the Baltimore Orioles in 1969, Bumbry played 35 games as a professional baseball player at the Class A Stockton level, and he batted just .171. That very same year, he was drafted into the United States Army. Since he went to college at Virginia State, he was commissioned as a second lieutenant. After spending a year at Fort Meade, Maryland, he deployed to South Vietnam, commanding 45 soldiers in a tank platoon for 11 months. In an interview, Bumbry said in 2020, "As the platoon leader, I was responsible not only for my life, but for the men in my platoon. We had to get out of the jungle, and I remember my commander telling me, 'This war is going to be on before you get here, and it will be going on after you leave. Your main objective is to see that you and your men get home safely.' I always kept that in the back of my mind," Bumbry said. "Being responsible for the others' lives, I think it made me focus more. I'm sure it changed me," he said. "And then to lose one man that was killed in action under my leadership." During his service, his platoon intercepted a large shipment of supplies heading to the Viet Cong. For that, Bumbry was awarded the Bronze Medal. People ask, how did I do so poorly my first year in the minor leagues? And not play for 2 more years upon coming back from Vietnam. The simple answer I give then and I give now is the changes I went through going to Vietnam and the maturity factor. I think I realized that I had been in a do-or-die situation and that I was responsible for not just my life, but the lives of others as well. It must have made me focus more on what I had to do and what responsibilities were. After that, baseball just didn't seem as hard as it did before. After his military service was completed, Bumbry appeared in 66 games for the Aberdeen Pheasants of the Class A Northern League, where he batted .336 with 53 RBIs and 6 home runs and 34 stolen bases. In 1972, Bumbry appeared with 2 minor league teams, the Asheville Orioles and the Rochester Red Wings. Between those 2 teams, he appeared in 134 games, batting .345, cracking 10 home runs, and stealing 32 bases. He got his call up in late of the 1972 season. In his first appearance on September 5th, he came in as a pinch hitter against the New York Yankees and flied out to center field. After several attempts, he finally collected his first hit almost a month later on October 3rd against the Cleveland Indians. Bumbry would finish the season just 4 for 11 as he was used in many defensive and pinch hitting appearances more than anything else. For the beginning of the 1973 season, Bumbry appeared mostly as a pinch runner during the first month of the season. In May, he began to play more, usually batting as the leadoff hitter. Then in June, he appeared in all but 1 game that the team played, as well as hitting very well. At the All-Star break in July, he had a .304 batting average. At the end of August, he was batting .312 and finished the season with an immaculate .337 batting average, 23 stolen bases, and 7 home runs. He also had a league-leading 11 triples, including 3 on September 22nd alone against the Milwaukee Brewers, tying both the American League and Major League records for most triples in one game. For his accomplishments, Bumbry was named the American League Rookie of the Year, receiving 13 of 23 first-place votes that year. Bumbry, however, in 1974 did not have a very good sophomore season. As of July, he was batting just below 200 and would finish the season with just a .233 batting average in his second season in the league. Bumbry would, however, improve in the 1975 season, raising his average to .269, but would dip down to .251 in '76, but then would have a bounce-back year in 1977, batting .317 as the Orioles finished second place that year. Unfortunately, in 1978, Bumbry broke his leg, sliding into second base against the Texas Rangers on May 12th, and he missed over 100 games before returning in September, where he posted just a .237 batting average. In 1979, the Orioles won the American League East, and Bumbry batted .285 that season with 37 stolen bases, and the Baltimore Orioles were bound for the World Series. Unfortunately, the Orioles lost to the Pittsburgh Pirates in that series, and then he would return the next year in 1980. Finally, in 1980, Bumbry would put together his first All-Star Game appearance. And during that 1980 season, he would finish with a .318 batting average and have career highs in RBIs, runs scored, stolen bases, walks, and hits. He was the first Oriole to collect 200 hits in a season since Bob Dillinger did that for the St. Louis Browns. Al would continue to be with the Orioles as a mainstay, and then would be on the 1983 World Series championship team as batting .275 and 12 stolen bases that year. He would then continue to be with the Orioles through the '84 season. After 13 years with the Orioles in the major leagues, the Orioles decided to cut ties with Bumbry, and he then signed with the San Diego Padres in March of 1985. With the Padres, Bumbry was mainly used as a pinch hitter for that season and also a pinch runner. After his career as a player, Bumbry actually became a coach with the Boston Red Sox from 1988 to 1993. He also played in the Senior League, as you can see there. I'm not really sure what's happening on that card. It almost looks like either he got hit by a pitch because you see his helmet flying through the air, or he's really mad at home plate and he's beating it with the bat. I can't really tell. What do you guys think? It's kind of an odd picture to be used on a card, but I'm guessing he got hit by a pitch, or he was trying to get out of the way of a pitch. You never know. But after that, he would continue to be a coach. Again with the Orioles, his original team. He would eventually go on to the independent leagues as a coach as well. He would be inducted into the Baltimore Orioles Hall of Fame in 1987, also the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. His son actually was a former minor league player with the Baltimore Orioles. His son never did make it to the major leagues, however. He was playing in the independent leagues as well. His son did. But one thing I wanted to point out was a lot of people don't know about Al Bumbry, the soldier. And that's why I really wanted to profile him this Memorial Day weekend. And talk about him and talk about his importance to not just baseball, but how he served his country. So thank you, Mr. Bumbry, not just for signing my autographs, but for also being such a great soldier that served the United States. This Memorial Day, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for signing my cards, of course, but thank you for everything that you've done. I also want to thank Fred Breining for signing his cards for me as well. I also want to thank Mr. Tim Blackwell for signing some 1980s cards along with a minor league team set I just happened to have of him. I want to thank you for taking the time to join me And let's not forget those who have served for this country on this Memorial Day weekend. I want to thank you for your time. And as always, happy collecting.